Lizard men, water spirits, skunk apes. Swamps have been long filled with mysterious folklores, curses, and superstitions. Science begs us to dismiss the unexplainable, but it's not always easy. So when a woman goes missing, a town points to a curse, and an entire community refuses to speak except in whispers about a witch who haunts the swamp. But what if the real monster wasn't a ghost, but a cover-up?
There's quiet, and then there's Grimsby Hollow, like the whole place was holding its breath.
She's watching, always watching.
Welcome back to the Jinkies and Jeepers podcast, where we dig into the coldest cartoon cases from our childhoods and ask what really happened.
Today, we're headed deep into the backwoods for a case about folklore, fear, and the silencing power of superstition. This is episode 6, The Witch's Curse.
Shaggy Sandwich Shack, mile-high hoagies, mystery melts, and snacks so big they might need their own zip code. Eat big, live groovy, Shaggy Sandwich Shack.
Grimsby Hollow sits on the edge of a sprawling wetland preserve, isolated, insular, and built on old southern folkways. Disappearances, unexplained illness, and curious late-night activities in the swamp are not uncommon, but the answers behind them are. Stories of voodoo, witchcraft, and curses lull the children and adults to sleep every night.
She walks at night with a lantern.
So when 32-year-old Marnie Parker vanished from her home just after dusk, neighbors didn't call police. They called the sheriff, and the sheriff called it a curse.
Always watching.
But this wasn't about a witch. It was about power, pollution, and a woman who asked the wrong question. A woman who refused to stay silent.
And sometimes the real monsters wear no masks at all.
I remember when we visited Grimsby Hollow, we hit a wall of silence. A few locals were friendly, but most were tight-lipped, and they just wanted us gone. The moment we mentioned Marnie Parker or the witch, the conversation shut down.
One diner owner told us flat out, "Don't stir it up," like saying the name alone would summon something.
You don't stir up what wants to stay buried. That's the way it's always been.
We almost just gave up. The people were too scared, too tight-lipped, and too set in their ways. Funland Amusement Park. Rides, games, and family fun by the sea. The lights never turn off, and the fun never ends, ever. Tickets are available now. Just don't ask who's operating the controls. Scream your head off at Funland Amusement Park.
They say the witch walks the cypress path with a lantern looking for justice. She don't haunt the guilty. She haunts the ones who stay quiet.
At first, it sounds like another ghost story. A vigilante swamp specter running loose and balancing the eternal scales. But listen closer. It's not about punishment. It's about silence.
That gave me chills, because that woman wasn't describing some made-up monster. She was describing what happens when a town decides to bury the truth.
Marnie Parker had filed a formal complaint just weeks before she vanished about improper disposal of chemical waste. Even for a swamp, the smell was unbearable, not to mention the green glow of the water, clearly not natural.
The same water supply that had been linked to a wave of illnesses, birth defects, and mysterious swamp sickness the town blamed on the witch.
Her employer, Caraway Textiles, was the largest donor to the local preservation society, the same one that funded the town's annual witch walk and curated local folklore museum. Seems like they had a healthy interest in keeping the stories about the witch alive, for some reason. Marnie's file disappeared from the county office the same week she did.
She wasn't cursed. she was silenced.
Local reports continue to circulate of a so-called lantern-wielding witch haunting the wetlands of Greenby Hollow. Residents are urged to remain calm. Environmental assessments of the area, performed by Caraway Textiles, show no irregularities. A statement released from the sheriff insists, and I quote, "Ain't nothing to it."
Even decades later, the myth persisted in local broadcasts. The fear was amplified, giving it authority it never deserved. Just listen to these clips from a local nurse and the town's mail carrier.
We admit a couple of patients every month suffering from the curse. It's a real thing, plain as day.
Well, fact of the matter is, lots of people go missing around here. We have piles of unclaimed mail to prove it.
And the more people heard it, the more they believed it, and the quieter they became.
Most of what we uncovered came from paperwork, environmental reports, and careful questioning. Marnie had documented the mill's dumping in meticulous notes. Had to stay late last night. Heard someone in the kitchen. It was after 7 and no one else was supposed to be still in the office. In kitchen, I was confronted by a truck driver, one I didn't recognize, asking for rubber gloves and if we had any face masks. He was 5'10", brown hair, olive skin. Definitely not a local. Note to self, check with trucking company.
And the folklore, it wasn't just a story, it was a diversion.
A really good diversion. So good that everyone just quietly moved on. Mystery Ink Printing. Flyers, posters, missing dog notices? We print it all. No questions asked. No judgments made. Mystery Ink, where secrets are set in type. A new sheriff reopened the case in 1998. No charges were filed. The mill closed in 2003.
There were no signs of foul play. All parties cleared. Open and shut. Filed as a missing persons case.
But no one ever found Marnie Parker. And no one ever admitted what happened to her.
Even her co-workers were suspiciously unhelpful.
I never saw her leave the office that night. Boss said not to ask questions.
I also said, don't talk about it, especially to reporters.
Well, this case felt different. Maybe because it wasn't just about what happened, but how people let it happen. How silence can be deadly.
It did feel different. It was clear further investigation was needed into the textile company, but the town was scared. I believe the term is nervous as a long-tailed cat in a room full of rocking chairs. All it takes is one person to speak up.
Just one person, and maybe, just maybe, curses can be broken. Or someone doesn't go missing.
She goes deep into their silence, rooting out the guilty, feeding off them. For in their silence, she lives on.
When folklore is weaponized to keep people quiet, it stops being culture. It becomes complicity.
There's power in stories, but there's also danger in the wrong ones. Shaggy Sandwich Shack, mile-high hoagies, mystery melts, and snacks so big they might need their own zip code. Eat big, live groovy, Shaggy Sandwich Shack.
This has been the Jinkies and Jeepers podcast.
True cartoon crimes unmasked.